jets, particularly for the squadrons that are deploying in support to operations. But aircraft availability will be impacted due to the fact that we will not have sufficient wings to maintain the current aircraft availability. At present, the Air Force has more than 280 A-10S in total, with nearly 110 of them still awaiting new wings. The service just lost 2 aircraft in an accident earlier in September 2017. A-10S continue to be an important part of the fight against ISIS in Iraq and the standing defense of South Korea, and the jets routinely travel to Europe and elsewhere around the world to reassure American allies concerned about regional security threats. Air Force Materiel Command said the unmodified aircraft could end up grounded as early as the 2018 fiscal year, which begins on October 1, 2017. There is a possibility that new wings scavenged from aircraft in storage at the boneyard could alleviate some of the issues, but Air Force Materiel Command's top officer said that option would only give the aircraft a few more hours. Echoing comments from Secretary of the Air Force Heather Wilson and other Air Force officials at AFA, General Paul Ikowski laid the blame for the situation squarely on budget cuts and caps, along with the inability of Congress to approve a full, fiscal year-long budget, instead relying on short-term funding bills, known as continuing resolutions. In addition, she cited delays at Boeing, where a parts defect had slowed the production of the new wing sections. Working from this existing, self-imposed disadvantage, the Air Force had compounded the issue by deciding to focus its limited resources on other projects, despite the relatively low cost of the rating effort. In 2011, the service itself said that it would save a modest $500 million, the difference between keeping more than 100 capable aircraft airworthy or buying, at most, around 5 F-35 stealth fighters, by ending the upgrade program early, leaving dozens of warthogs without the replacement spans. This is not to mention the Air Force's repeated attempts to send the aircraft to the boneyard since then, too. The service even suggested it was actively working on a direct replacement for the warthogs, when it apparently quietly stopped that effort without telling anyone. In its latest budget request for the 2018 fiscal year, the Air Force again declined to request any money for new A-10 wings, instead shunting it into its unfunded priorities list. Each service sends one of these wish lists to Congress every fiscal year, hoping legislators will decide to add additional money for these projects. The problem now is that even if Congress does pass a full budget, decides to inject more cash into the Air Force for the A-10 rating program, and does so in a timely manner, warthogs without the new wings will likely hit their maximum safe flight hours before the new spans even arrive. This means that even under a best-case scenario, the unmodified jets will be sitting idle until the work is done. The Air Force has long argued that upgrading the warthogs is an easy thing to cut since it expects to replace the fleet of ground attackers with the F-35 in the near future, anyways. Unfortunately, as the